G'day, Heath here from PickinLessons.com. Waltzing Matilda in a chord melody style arrangement. This is the third version we've done at PickinLessons.com. So we've got the basic melody there for a beginner. We've got somewhat of a bluegrass style arrangement as well, which is pretty cool. And this one we'll take a look at that chord melody. So we're supporting our melody with a whole bunch of harmony along the way. So double stops and 3-note chords. In a moment, we're going to take a look at part A. So we'll take a look at the verse here in this video, but if you head to PickinLessons.com, you can grab yourself a copy of the tablature. We'll also break down the remainder of the lesson, so we'll take a look at the chorus there as well. Plus you have some play along and backing tracks once you get to know the tune. Now, we're in the key of G. Our basic melody, when we read this and go through this, the basic melody is always on top. So here's this first 4 measures. So that's our melody. That was what's on top when you're reading along. Now, here's with our support. So we're going to support it with some chords, so 3-note chords and double stops along the way. So you can hear it, it adds a whole lot to what's going on. It's a really wonderful way of going about it. So we're going to break it down. We'll check out the verse here now. It would be nice if you know the melody already. It would help to have some sense of what's going on. So remember, it is just what's happening on top, but you can also learn that at PickinLessons.com separately as well. Now, once we have our melody, we do need to keep in mind we have to manage these chord positions as well. So let's just go through. Our picking for a start is going to be very standard, following our structured rhythm picking. So down up on the 8ths and down on the quarters, and so on. And as we play our chords, it's just a little strum, and we'll get to that in a moment. So our first pickup on beat 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, to our first chord. This is an easy one. So it's just part of a G chord there. Our melody is the B note, and we're strumming through. You can strum through kind of quick, or you can strum through with a little bit more separation. That comes down to, as you learn it, you'll have an idea of how you want to go about that. But it is okay to separate those notes somewhat, really drag it out, or just hit that chord a little stronger too. The most important thing though is that melody needs to be nice and clear. So we want to really hear as we go through. So let's just look at these first couple of chords and we'll make sure we capture that melody really nicely. So our melody there is on the B, the open strings underneath for the G. And then we switch to the D, open D chord with the A note is our melody. Yeah. So as you follow through with your strum, the last string we're playing there for that melody, if you just angle your pick slightly upwards, it kind of helps get this little rest stroke for that last strum. And that can really help strengthen the melody, but the main thing is that we do want to hear that melody. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can just strum it with a sort of normal pick angle. It won't quite be as strong, but if you listen again, if I just angle my pick slightly upwards, it just strengthens it ever so slightly. And there's that last little follow through on that melody there with that rest stroke style picking. So you're coming to rest on that the first string there after we play the second string. It really helps us bring it up just that little bit like we want it. So this opening measure, pick up on beat 4, trying to hear that melody as we go through. 3, 4. We're going to continue that idea throughout, but the next measure along we have some double stops. This is a bit harder for the left hand, so let's check out what's happening. With the double stops, with these chords in general, try and hold on to them for as long as we can until we have to change. So let the notes ring throughout. Our first double stop here, we've got the B and the G to the melody notes. Following on, so down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And notice that I'm leaving my fingers on here in that first double stop position. That's going to ring through this first half of the measure until I have to change double stop position. So our next double stop there is part of that C, 5th fret, 2nd fret. I'm going to hold that while I play the F sharp there. So second finger on the F sharp, and then we're going to shift up to this double stop position at fret 9, fret 5 with the E and the G. Notice the picking, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, just following the rhythm structure. Holding onto the notes. Yeah, that double stop position, you've got to be quite quick on that change. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But notice it is the same fingers we held that previous double stop, so that's okay. Practice these up, but we're going to keep moving through. Measure 3. So measure 3 here, we're hitting this B minor position, and we've got the open Gs to kick us off with that melody in between the B minor position. So we want to bar our first finger across that 4th fret, and if you can use finger 3 on the D note there, fret 5, is going to help us out for what's coming next on the D chord. So we've got this B minor, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, all that same bar position. We don't have to hold it very long, it's just that short portion in the melody. So we'll come through from the G into our bar, hold it, and now our 3rd finger is going to stay on that D note for the next chord. So the D chord, and we're going to shift into this position here, 2nd fret, 4th fret, with our 3rd finger still in fret 5. Yeah. Our melody on the end to pick up into the next measure. So just from measure 3, 3, 4, open strings, B minor with a bar, hold it, and D. As we move through the next half of this section, we have something that's very similar. Same double stops here. B minor again, but, so measure 7, B minor into a C position. So we have this same bar position into this C. So this time we want to bar our first finger just over the 2 strings there. So we want to be barring on the 2nd fret and the 2nd fret on strings 2 and 3. Our 2nd finger will play the C initially and then remove with that 1st finger there for the B. So coming out of the B minor, you may wish to use your 2nd finger this time. It's up to you. 3rd finger is still okay, but that 2nd finger on the B minor works, because then we will go and shift that chord down into the C position, finishing it off the D and a G double stop. That's the end of the verse. So let's have a quick one through, yeah? So get familiar with the positions, get used to strumming through with that strong last note in the 3 or 2 note chord, so we can hear our melody. Remember, the melody wants to be strong. It's all about the melody. We've got to hear this really clear, yeah, all the way through. And so on, yeah? So let's just have a one through this half, just nice and slow. So 2, 3, 4. Chording on there, and D. Holding on it to everything as long as you can until we have to change. And there we have the verse there for Waltzing Matilda in this chord melody style. Melody is always going to be the most dominant part of what you hear. Everything else is just accompaniment, so bear that in mind. Get familiar with the chord positions. Some of them are more challenging than others, but do hold on to everything for as long as you can. Let it all ring until you have to change. So let the open strings ring out, don't touch them. When you've got a chord position, hold on to it until you have to move into a new melody note or a new chord position. That's really important. It really adds to the style of playing. Now, pickinlessons.com, you can grab the tab, but we'll break down the rest of this lesson for part B in the member section there. So pickinlessons.com, I'll see you there.